Alright fellas, what I have for you here today is a compact survival kit. Something like this is too big to carry on your person, but it is also a lot smaller than a backpack, making it perfect to keep under the driver's seat of your car or somewhere easily accessible to grab it in an emergency. It is meant to be readily accessible so it can be grabbed and carried away quickly, but the MOLLE straps on the back could allow it to be attached to a bag or belt. The pack is secured by 3 different methods of retention, so it's not necessarily quick release, but that's not the purpose of this pack. The purpose of it is to keep everything nice and secure until you're in a position where you need to reach inside and access the contents. I'm now going to show you everything inside of the pack, which is all secured in one way or another, with the exception of the jar of Powerbait. I know a comment that I got on the last survival kit was about the poor quality knife, and so I wanted to let all of you know that I did in fact get a better knife for the kit this time around. You'll notice a lot of redundant resources in this kit. For example, the water storage in the plastic bags, as well as the cordage and the fire starting materials. And the reason behind that is that this kit is not meant to be a supplement towards a bigger survival kit like your EDC carry would be. This kit is more meant for in the event that your car breaks down somewhere where you have no cell service and no way to contact help, to be able to sustain and survive on your own until rescue arrives. I did include food items in this kit, for example, protein and sugar. For the purpose of this kit is a last-ditch emergency kit, and procurement of food may not always be possible, or at the very least difficult, in the environment that you're in. So just having a little bit of insurance in terms of calories is justified in this kit. Here we have some redundant fire starters. This is a pretty common theme in any survival kit that I'll make. I'm pretty big on having redundant copies of any necessary equipment, but fire starters in particular. The reason why there are so many bundles of cordage in this pack is that cordage is a difficult resource to reproduce in nature, so whenever I come across a miscellaneous length of cordage, I just bundle it up and put it in the pack. There are a bunch of different varieties: Paracord, bank line, and Twine, but each one can be used for a different purpose. The kit itself isn't waterproof, so make sure that you waterproof any resources that need to stay watertight with Ziploc bags, for example. As you'll see later in the video, the Powerbait is part of the bigger fishing kit, but the reason the Powerbait is included is to save time and effort on trying to find bait for fishing in a survival situation. Having this in the kit is just a convenience that allows you to bait up your hook as soon as you make your survival fishing rod, and then be able to have a much easier time trying to catch some food. Something else I wanted to point out is that, with the exception of the Powerbait, everything is either tucked or clipped into place in the kit, for the purpose of when you open it, you're not very likely to spill everything out in the field. I like to keep all the smaller items in the kit, like the water purification tablets and the lighters, etc., tucked away in a single waterproof bag altogether, just so that they don't all get scattered or lost if you were to dump them out when removing any contents out of the pack. Here we have the fishing kit. In addition to having some lead weights as well as hooks, the eyelet screws inside the fishing kit are used to construct a survival fishing rod. What you can do is create a hand reel using the given section of fishing line, and you get a straight stick to make your rod with, and you attach the eyelet screws like you would the guides on a fishing rod, and then instead of having to simply tie a fixed amount of fishing line onto the end of a stick and then just cast that in order to get a little bit more casting distance, as well as having less likelihood of having your knot come undone from the end of the stick and losing your fishing line, you can then hand reel your fishing line using the survival fishing rod. I might make a video on how to do that here in the future. Make fun of me all you want for including this, but I included that Bear Grylls survival guide that comes with the basic survival kit made by Gerber all those years ago. The reason why is that sometimes in a survival situation you might not have the mental clarity you would in any other situation. Survival can be stressful, and sometimes you might need that little guide to kind of get yourself focused and, get your priorities back in order, so that way you can make use of the early going in a survival situation to the best of your ability and set yourself up for the best chance to survive. Of course, there are some more things that I probably should have included in this kit, but as I stated before, this is not something that I would take as my first choice when going camping or doing bushcraft, etc. This is more of a last-ditch survival kit in an emergency situation where you're stranded and all else fails, that something like this would be able to keep you alive for enough time for search and rescue to come find you. That's all I've got for today, fellas. If you have any criticism or questions, just leave them down in the comments. Thanks.